Alright, this is 42423 Route 18 in Wellington. We need to do weeding and some mulching. So she has 2 pallets of mulch ready to go. She said if we need more, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we definitely need to do a pre-treat prior to coming because we have a severe thistle problem and some ground cover that she wants to kill off. I did explain to her that there is going to be some maintenance in order to really eradicate it, and she understood that. So we're going to start in this bed. We need to spray what we can, especially these thistles. There is a lot of wanted ground cover and perennials in here, so we just have to be careful. So all this needs to be weeded. All these tall weeds we need to get out. Anywhere that we can edge. It looks like there is some edging stones around here. But we'll clean all this out all the way around. The weeds are pretty easy to tell in here. We need to spray this area too and weed it, mulch it. And then she also wants some string trimming from like this area over. She needs all the string trimmed around the trees. We'll string trim around this, string trim around that, and up. String trim around here. And then this is where we're going to have to get some decent spraying. All this needs to be weeded. We can do some trimming here. Any tall weeds through here. I don't know if I would double check with her if she wants this sprayed, because she didn't completely explain, but this she wants sprayed. So like all these, I think that's the same thing. So yeah, we're going to spray this and get rid of it. All this ground cover here, all these weeds need to be sprayed. This is a peony, that's a peony. Try not to spray those. But everything back there needs to be sprayed. Everything around here needs to be sprayed. This stuff she wants to get rid of as best as possible. So we've got a peony, we've got a hydrangea, we've got some daylilies and hostas, but spray as best as you can through here. All this ground cover needs to go, all the weeds need to go. Make sure we're string trimming around there. And all this ground cover too. All this needs to be sprayed and taken out as best as possible. And then we're going to mulch here. We've got some hostas and hydrangeas. We just need to be careful around. Anything that can be pruned and trimmed, we'll do that. This area here too, we need to weed and mulch. Trim back anything that can be trimmed. We need to completely get as much of this ground cover and weeds pulled as possible. We can trim any of this stuff back. The dead wood we can trim back. That taller shrub we can trim. The mums we'll leave, but the baptisia we can trim. We'll leave the hostas for now, but we've got a lot of weeds through here as well. We'll clean up this and mulch it. And again, this all needs to be sprayed, ground cover pulled. She likes the white and green ground cover. This is nettle. That can stay. But like this can go, this can go, this can go, and then we'll just weed as best as we can through here. Make sure we're checking the back as well. These beds are pretty big. Again, we'll trim these up, clean up the willow, the weeping cherry. This is a weed, this is a weed, that is a weed. We can trim this up. And then we've got a small bed here too that we can trim up. Anything that needs to be. The lavender here, this is dying off. Cut that down for the season. We can clip back the daylily growth, the dead stuff, and then just touch up the mulch here. We'll clean this out as best as possible. We've got a thistle problem happening here. This peony, let's cut it back because it's got powdery mildew on it. We've got weeds here. All the thistle need to be taken care of. This is an ornamental grass, we'll leave that, but there is thistle all through here. So spray it as best as you can. Again, we'll clip back the dead growth. And then this whole area too needs to be sprayed as best as possible for the thistle and cleaned out. It's going to be a little difficult, but do the best that we can. We've got some ground cover in here, some thistle, so this can all get sprayed too and removed, because that's a mix of the ground cover she does not like. Clean this out as best as possible. And then same here, we've got a lot of thistle through here that we can spray. We can trim this back, we can trim that back. All this needs to be sprayed and cleaned up. We can trim this guy and get it under control, trim the holly, trim the juniper, and clean all this out. This ground cover probably can stay. And then just make sure we're double checking back here. This bed isn't as bad. We just want to kind of spray any weeds and clean that out. And then we need to clean this up. These are plants. This bed isn't terrible, but we just have some thistle popping through here, so we need to just touch that up. Nothing over there. Clean this up. And then this can be sprayed and weeds pulled. Sprayed and weeds pulled. We just have to be careful because there's a lot of perennials pretty much everywhere. So we've just got a couple weeds, couple vines that we can get pulled and cleaned up, and then around the patio as well. And that's it.